This is No BS Job Search Advice Radio, episode 1795. I'm your host, Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and welcome to another episode of the show on our way to episode 1800 next week. Today's show is one of those tough interview questions. It comes from an article in Harvard Business Review it was a while ago, that involves a problem being solved as a format for them learning about you. Hope you find this helpful and hope you give it a great review wherever you listen to the show. And with that, let's get going, okay? And this comes from an article in HBR.org, HarvardBusinessReview.org. But again, the website is hbr.org. It's called 7 Rules for Job Interview Questions That Result in Great Hires. In the article, Dr. John Sullivan, points out that there are mistakes firms make with interviewing and hiring. But he encourages people to recognize that the ability to solve a problem is one of the leading predictors of success on the job. So he poses this question. Let's see now. Provide them with a description here's a description of an actual problem that you'll face on your first day. Walk me through the broad steps that you take in order to solve the problem. Now, prior to asking this question, prior to the interview, the interviewer has taken some time to identify certain basic expectations they have for answering the question. So, for example, it's important to recognize that an individual would gather data, consult with the team or the customer, identify success metrics and such. Another thing I tend to think of is that this is really a variation of the case study interview question, except you're face-to-face with the case. As a result, think in terms of asking about the resources that you have available to them, how large a budget exists, all the meta questions to define the terrain for yourself in stepping into this solution. So, for example, as I said, in the article, they talk about gathering data, consulting with the team and customers, identifying success metrics. What kind of budget? What's the time framework? Who are the people I'm working with? Do they tend to be open or closed in how they communicate? There are lots of different things that from a case study you need to draw in to answer the question well. So I just want to remind you, don't forget to ask these questions and then start looking at solutions and options. But the goal from their standpoint is to get a sense of how you think, how you're going to impact their bottom line, how you're going to help this department be more effective. You can't do that unless you know more, and that's really what this is designed to accomplish.